in Denmark, when you're opening a new business, all businesses in Denmark has to choose a code, telling what kind of business that you work with. I don't know if you have the same in Sweden. I bet you have, because you have the statistic has to have some kind of overview of how many different businesses do we have here in Denmark. Anyway, it's a very, very tiny detail of opening a business is to have this code. And the reason why MindLab started to work with it was that it just had this enormous potential for conflict and also enormous potential for errors. And I think the reason why I want to tell you today is that this little detail actually shows some of the complexity that we work with within the system. For instance, this code, there's errors in 30% of it, which is quite a lot. And this is not very good for the statistics, because of course they want to know how many different companies there are of different kinds. So the statistics are unhappy. Ministry of Taxation are also unhappy, because when they go and control businesses in Denmark, most people really want to pay the right amount of taxes to the right time. But some businesses really doesn't want to pay the right amount of taxes. They try to cheat, right? So the Ministry of Taxation, they want to target their control to the kind of businesses that try to cheat. And they use these code as basis of control of who they should go and control. So if there's error in almost half of them, they will come out and control people that should really not be controlled, and they use an enormous amount of money to that. The business authority, they are also unhappy, because they get just so many phone calls and people showing up physically because they cannot find the right code. The system is just completely nonsense to the user. So they spend an enormous amount of time helping people in the phone. And in Denmark, at least, we try to make the public sector more digital, because we do not have time to help people in the phone. So the business authority really wanted a new solution, because they wanted people to just do a self-service solution instead of calling them. So this small piece of error just had an enormous consequence. What we found out was that the user, they could not at all understand the system, because when you start up and if you are, for instance, if you work as a window polisher and you type window polisher in the system, it will say, I cannot find you, because in the system it's called window washer. So you have to use the exact term, the system term, or else you would just get an error. So so it was just extremely not very friendly to the user, this self-service solution. So what we did at MindLab was that we started to design a new process. And one of the first things was that we used visual tools to kind of illustrate for the civil servants how many different people are actually involved in this process, and where could the possibility of help be here. We used drawers, we used visual tools, we used like a methods we called like a service design. So we draw what does it look like today, and how many different agencies are actually involved if a business cannot find the right code. So this was kind of the first step where we used design as a visual tool. We also used the empathy, the end user's perspective. We did out and talked to some of the businesses that had errors, and we made them tell the story. So this is one story actually this is just actually 3 stories in one. But one of the stories, if you find one of the lines in the green color, you can see a story of a person who actually get involved with 3 different agencies during her journey to get the right code. She talks to the business authorities, she talks to Ministry of Taxation, she actually drives to Ministry of Taxation to get help. So we used the end user's perspective and story to make the civil servants understand how they could do it better. And what we also found out was that we of course needed a new digital solution that used the end user's language, but we also need a new system for the backstage, for the people that work within the system, because today they couldn't work together at all, and they just kept on putting the users back and forth from line to line. actually this week they just launched a new solution that both had a new digital solution with the words that you actually use as a business owner, and that is much more easy to grasp, and also with a solution to the backstage system so that the ministries can work better together and work cross-sector. We hope, at least we did a business case for it, and we hope that it will save quite a lot of time both for the system and for the end user, and hopefully also get less errors, the new solution.